Hi there. So this is lab number 2 for Special Topics in Human Development. This is an article, journal, research journal that I found called 5 Days at Outdoor Education Camp Without Screens Improves Preteen Skills with Nonverbal Emotional Cues. This was particularly interesting to me not only because I'm a full-time camp counselor, active in about 3 weeks, obviously my teacher, history with primary education, as well as my research following into the end of this course with my final paper. So this is a mixed method quantitative study, and it explored the relationship between face-to-face communication and screen-based media communication, and looking to see if children understand and respond to different emotional cues, different based on consumption of social technologies like social media and technologies that accompany them. So we learned that children ages 8 to 18 do spend 7.5 hours a day, 7 days a week, engulfed in various media, very concerning, and teenagers aged 12 to 17 actually use text messages as their primary form of communication over any other form of socializing, including face-to-face. So preteens were selected for the target of this study, and because of this age group, we are able to integrate, they're able to integrate information and understand kind of nonverbal cues, nonverbal emotion like tone and facial expression, and they're able to make conclusions or hypotheses of social state in individuals. So both the controlled and experimental groups were comprised of using the same balance in demographics and age and gender. And for this kind of lab, I tried something different. I'm using an infographic tool I haven't used in a long time, so I thought it would be kind of neat to try. So all of the participants did start with a general media use survey. 2 different pre and post tests, one at the beginning and the end. Both tests were in place to assess the ability and to decode emotional nonverbal communication by the students. So the DANVA, referred to as the Diagnostic Analysis of Nonverbal Behavior, it's a subtest used to validate errors made by participants as they establish emotional state using imagery. And then we have the CASP, which refers to Child Adolescent Social Perception Measure, and it's a test that examines children's ability to interpret different nonverbal emotional cues in a real-life setting. And they established positive results. Both of these tests are fairly well accomplished. They've been around for over a decade now in both cases, and done hundreds of surveys and tests with exceptional results. So some of the major findings were that children that were away from screens, and I apologize, some of my graphs seem to have washed out here from the article, but that's okay. Major findings were that children were away from the screens for the week-long study. They actually had an improved significantly with respect to their reading of facial emotions and emotional expressions, nonverbal. Excuse me. Both environments did have an increase in their post-test errors, but nearly 5 fewer errors occurred, 4.61 occurred through the experimental responses. So those individuals that were actually at an outdoor educational facility learning about this instance. So students in the experimental group, they showed significant improvement also in their ability to recognize nonverbal emotional cues. So a significant kind of difference, and something that kind of attributed to the reality of this research, was the nature in which the experiments took place. So one involved an archery, outdoor kind of orienteering, survival learning experience in which, in comparison to a normal classroom, it could in fact influence emotions in the understanding and the responses that children have relevant to emotional state. So this was something that was acknowledged by the author and researchers. As well, moderators included in the time in which the study, some of the moderators included the time in which the study of the 51 and 54 participants took place, as well as the similar geographic selection of students with alike mediators, similar to previous technology understanding, same socioeconomic area, as well as the week in which the post-test occurred. References were very current, and they were relevant as they applied to a variety of areas. The analysis and the methods in the measure section, I will be data mining for my own future research and research into the final paper for this year. Some of the moderations did include the lack of previous knowledge of technology or the greatness of it, and the socioeconomic surrounding of the participants was very similar. Some of the mediators with respect to the time in which the pre and post tests took place at the beginning of the week and end of the week could have mediated differences, as well as the time of the year of the study. So particularly interesting to me is the reality of the understanding of emotional cues in our social environments. It's said that if we develop superior social skills through this understanding, we're able to form a more positive peer relationship throughout life. Understanding personal social benefits of nonverbal social cues, we need those in order to respond and relate to individuals' actions and reactions throughout life, according to Knapp and Hall 2010. My overall belief is that the outdoor social environment in this case and the constraints of no technology did contribute to the effects of the experiment, but I did find the paper to be enlightening and look forward to following up for more information. Thank you very much, and it looks like I'm over time. Thank you.